Coming up, the travelers get hands-on with Kentucky agritourism, and getting lost in the woods has never been more fun. This is Transformative Travels, exploring Kentucky. Funding for this program brought to you in part by
Family and Consumer Sciences Extension at the University of Kentucky. Our agents share research knowledge with individuals, families, and communities to improve quality of life. Building strong families, building Kentucky. It starts with us.
Camping, fishing, boating, lodging. We've got a park for that. Parks at ky.gov.
University of Kentucky's Department of Retailing and Tourism Management, which offers undergraduate and graduate degrees, both face-to-face and online options, in the fields of hospitality, management and tourism, and merchandising, apparel, and textiles.
It's a beautiful start to our second day at Barren River Lake State Resort Park. The travelers get fueled up for an active day of exploring.
Hey y'all, so we're about to go to Kenny's
Cheese Farm.
Hey, we're about to go see how cheese is made.
So I brought my cowgirl boots.
It's a cow.
So this is day 2 of our expedition. We're in Austin, Kentucky at Kenny's Farmhouse Cheese. We've got some of the staff back here hard at work. We're gonna take a tour. Hopefully we can get our hands dirty making some cheese and see how the cheese is processed. Maybe get our hands on some cows, doing some feeding, doing some milking. After lunch, we're gonna go back to Barren River Lake State Resort Park and do some orienteering, basically getting lost in the woods. We'll see what happens there.
All right, so I'm gonna give you guys sort of a rundown of the farm, the history, so you can kind of understand why we do what we do here. So Kenny's dad, Big Ken, and mom, they moved down here in 1978 and just wanted to start dairy farming from Indianapolis, Indiana. And Kenny took over the farm from his dad in the early 90s. And the price of milk hadn't changed for the farmer since the early 80s. So Kenny wanted to see a way that he could add value to the farm and add value to the milk. So when he was in Europe traveling on a mission trip, he saw small farmstead cheesemakers where they were turning their cow's milk into cheese. And he thought it's something that we could do. So now we process about 150,000 pounds of cheese a year, and we use about 60% of our milk from our cows to turn it into cheese, and the rest we send down the road to a dairy. We make 26 different varieties of cheese, anything from Colby and Monterey Jack and cheddar to some funky blue cheeses like Kentucky Blue and Kentucky Rose. So what you're gonna see back here, we're making cheese. That was milk in a cow yesterday. So it's been processed and slowly turning into curds, and you guys will have a chance to get your hands dirty in there. So we're gonna get suited up. So there's a hairnet, booties, so they go on your shoes or on your feet, and then they're like lab coats.
We're ready to go make cheese. Yay! Look at how fashionable our new shoes are.
That's what I look like online.
Hannah, tell us about these big boys.
Well, it's cheese and it's round.
We have a real cheese expert here.
It ain't for me. It's good.
You saw
saw moldy milk curd and thought, let's eat this.
There's a whole lot of cheese.
There's just so many types of cheese that I've never tried before. I really want to try it.
About 5 interns this summer.
I love cheese making so much. You want to talk about your dream come true?
Oh yes.
Oh,
so
man.
this experience for me was very good.
Very good.
Very good.
So our barn blew down in July of 2016. Straight line winds came over the hill, and so when we rebuilt, we decided we're going to put in robot milkers. So these robot milkers, they've made the cow's environment so stress-free, and they're more docile than we've ever seen. The cows are able to milk anywhere from 1 to 5 times a day. It just depends on how much milk they're going to give. So we'll head into the barn. So in these robots, there's a ration of feed that is like a treat for the cows. It's kind of like you get up in the morning and you go to the coffee maker to get your cup of coffee. They come to the robots to get their treat or their shot of energy. So with this system, the robots memorize every single cow. They have a collar and it acts like a Fitbit or Apple Watch, and it tracks their steps. And it memorizes the setup of her udder, how much milk she gave and how much she ate. So that way the robot gets better and better with milking that cow to make it less stressful on the cow when it comes into the robot. The milk's coming in at about 102 degrees, so that's the cow's body temperature. So then it goes into the big bulk milk tanks, and that cools down to about 38 degrees. And then we pump it over to the cheese shop for processing. So these are our Airbnb apartments behind you. So you basically wake up in the morning and walk out, and this is what you get to see. You can see how quiet it is, and there is no smell. So you see the red and black brushes, those are back scratchers. They bump them and it scratches their back. So it's all about the cow's comfort, and it's all about the cow.
So luxurious.
Yes, it's like a country club for cows. We try to be as sustainable as possible. We use as much as we can of the cow. So this pack will get spread out on our fields as fertilizer. What gets spread on our fields then also gets put into our cow's feed, which is then they eat it, and then they produce milk, and then that milk gets turned into cheese, and then the whole process it's a constant circle. And that's always been important to Kenny here at the farm, is to take care of the cows and do it in a sustainable way. If you don't treat your cows well and with respect and ethically, they're not going to produce milk. They're not going to produce good milk. So that's where taking care of the cows, great cow comfort, it gives us a better product from the cow.
It's inside one of the guest houses, the Airbnbs. Let's stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's stay here.
Now that the travelers are familiar with the place, it's time to put them to work milking some cows.
So when they go to milk the cow, I just need to make sure don't be in front of the cow because we don't want to scare her and have her back up or try and kick or anything like that. Don't do what you're doing.
Oh my God.
Andrea and Haley are about to milk a cow. Andrea's terrified.
Come on, Andrea. Oh my God. Okay, what you put your thumb, and then you just like let the udder go right here, and then I'm gonna pass out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, hold on, I need to mentally prepare myself.
Touch the cow first. Touch it. You're fine. You're fine. Get in there. Just slide down. Yep.
Well, I just finished milking a cow for the first time in like 12 or 13 years, and I still got it. Andrea, Miss New Yorkian.
My dear gosh. That was rough and scary and mortifying, but I did it.
You did it!
And now I'm on top of the world. I will gladly raise cows.
Touch a cow's udder. I meant that's really all I have to say.
What are we naming it?
Oh, that's so cool. It makes me so think apple. This is so beautiful. It's so cool.
Just got up to the pavilion to eat lunch at Kinney's Farmhouse Cheese, and we're just taking some pictures, you know, doing just girly things, and it's been really fun. Very great view for sure. Beautiful day. We're frolicking, we're having a great time.
So throughout the week, we're going to be doing some shopping as we stop. Later in the week, we're going to be doing our cooking challenge. Along the way, we're going to be stopping and picking up some groceries that they're going to use in their dishes. We're going to get cheese today, tomorrow in Bowling Green. We hope to get some of the greens and other vegetables. We might pick up some meat along the way. We'll kind of see we have to see how it goes because we don't know what's out there yet. And then we're going to pull it all together and do our Plated Up Kentucky Proud cooking challenge.
After fun on the farm, we return to the State Resort Park where we learn some new skills in the woods with an orienteering adventure.
All right, so this is Abby. She's gonna lead us on our orienteering adventure.
So pretty much what orienteering is, it's competitive. And what we do is we go around to different trails and we try to navigate through the trail only using a compass and a map, which I have both.
Are we excited? Are we ready for this? Are we ready for this?
We're ready. We got like 4 compasses, 2 pictures on the map.
Do y'all know how to read compass?
No. Yes.
No? Okay, so what's gonna happen? You always want it flat on your hand. You do not want to read it up like this. The magnetic force is different. So what you want to do is you have that arrow on the bottom and this right here turns, guys.
Orienteering starts as a friendly competition between the 2 cottages. But some of the travelers turn up the heat by forming a third alliance.
We decided to join forces. Break up the teams a little bit, join forces, and we're creating a third team that no one knows about.
And we're going to go off into the jungle and find our own way.
We're going to do like a round, beat the pack, and end up winning this orienteering challenge.
Yep. was born for the jungle.
We're at a dead end. Stay tuned.
We're deep into the Connell Trail. Some of our travelers have decided to go rogue and wander off. We're not sure where they are. We're going to keep walking. Hopefully, with our orienteering guide, we'll be able to find our way out.
Where are we on? So we gotta go that way. No, down.
Go down. So we have an addition.
We've got Kate on our team, and I guess sweet map orienteering skills. So I think her map skills are really gonna help our team out.
I can read a compass. And how do you need a compass? Just following the guide. I don't know why everybody else didn't just think of that.
Everybody's mad at us because we're running, but we want to win.
The end of a day means it's time to talk about what we learned during the day's exploration. This morning, I challenged the travelers to stop and appreciate something.
Well, it's the end of day 2. We're down one person. Bree's had a sick call. She'll be back with us tomorrow. So this evening, we're going to focus not so much on what you did today, but on what you learned today. So we had a day filled with a lot of fun activities. But what did you learn while you were doing those things? That's what I want to talk about. Arizona.
Yes.
So to appreciate something means to judge it with a heightened sense of perception in order to recognize its value. What did you appreciate today?
When we were at Kenny's Farmhouse cheese, we were in the actual, like, where we were making, or they were making the cheese and putting it together. We just I don't think that everybody realizes everything that goes into that kind of thing. Like, you just buy it off a shelf, or you just wear something all the time and you don't realize all the work that goes into it before you actually get it. And there's a lot of people who are involved in that process who that's their job and that's how they make their living, and we just kind of take it for granted most of the time.
I appreciated the cheese making because I love cheese making.
Heard.
Yeah, so it was just really cool to like see something that I wouldn't call it a passion of mine, but I would call it close to a passion of just like watching cheese making, and like to see it like in person like made me like stop and just go like, wow, like this is really happening. Like it was like a dream for me to just like be there and just like watch cheese, and then I got to make it and it was even better. It was like, you're gonna let me touch it and like make cheese and all this and that, and I was so glad like I got to do it with like people that I like I'm really close to as well. So it was fun. We all encouraged each other when we were cheese making.
She was like a professional. I was watching her.
Okay.
Oh, she was leading.
To put it into perspective, she was so excited. She like fell asleep last night watching like cheese making videos.
Yeah. I was so excited in bed and it was just a light on.
So Kate used an interesting word. She said passion. She was talking about a passion of hers, but did we observe anybody else's passion today? Did we see the people that we encountered, maybe what they were doing? Did they show passion in what they were doing?
I really thought that like I saw a lot of passion exhibited in the way that they were like treating the animals and like the passion and like the ethics of it, which I think is something that's really lacking a lot. And I was really impressed by, like, I was asking like kind of a lot of questions about him, and he like full transparency and very much just like talking about, you know, the cattle is where it begins, like making sure that the cows are okay, like really helps the cheese level. And then I was talking to Kenny's wife as well when she was making some grilled cheeses, and she really was talking about again, just like beginning with the cows, making sure they're ethically treated. And then as well, she was kind of talking about like the community aspects of it, and like that they like did a bunch of like trading and just kind of like really getting back to like the ethics of people caring about people caring about animals, and people caring about their food. I just thought, I mean, it's great, it's important.
I think that he also like gave us like a new perspective on like how the cows are treated, because I know that like not a trend now, but like the thought now is like the more natural the better. But he said like artificial like insemination and stuff like that actually helps not only the calves but also the mothers. It alleviates a lot of pain off of them. But as soon as he said like artificial insemination, I just like was kind of like, oh really? And then like he was like, but it's a good thing because of this, this, and this. And I think that like it's a nice little perspective change so that we don't like automatically make assumptions about like stuff that we may not be as familiar with as we think we are.
So let's talk about Kenny's a little bit more in terms of some of the other things that they're doing there, the history, how the property has developed, including into some of the tourism attractions or tourism opportunities that exist there now.
I think it's important for small towns like this to have this sort of business. And then he told us that the price of milk, that what the farmer gets, hasn't raised since the 80s. And so with that added production, you get consumers who get awesome cheese, and then you also get more food choices, more ethical food choices, and then you also get a booming business. And it's really nice to see that like both parties can benefit from that.
I love how sustainable the farm was.
Yeah, he said that they didn't care really, or that they weren't organic certified because it wasn't something that their consumers cared about. They wanted to know where it came from instead of know that it was like that the government endorsed it. And I thought that was really cool because like they were still doing all this stuff. They were still doing all this sustainable farming, all of these really awesome things, but they didn't get like the prize for it or whatever. It's just they knew it was right.
So talk about some of the tourism aspects that you observed at Kenny's Farmhouse Cheese today, and how do you think that's important for their business?
One of the most impactful things to me that I think I heard was when Corey was talking about like why in the world like Kenny got started with cheeses and like these stores and like these crazy like Airbnb things, is he was just like, he went to Europe, he was kind of looking around, like, you know, being able to take in other cultures, take ideas. And with that, he basically was like, you know what, my two options are either I have to expand my fields, I have to get more cows, and I have to like start buying out my neighbors, or I have to start getting creative. So I think that like agritourism really gave them a chance to like get creative and like be able to like be a neighbor instead of like pushing each other out, and like they're all working together towards like this kind of common goal. And like agritourism gives them that like outlet to be able to do so.
Yeah, he said earlier, I'd rather have my neighbors than my neighbor's land. And that was just really nice to hear.
I overheard somebody say, one of y'all, I don't know who it was, Kentucky is so underrated. Does anybody agree with that?
We're looking out the window, I guess, on the way back to the cheese farm. It just looks like a postcard. And most people don't, when they think of postcard Kentucky, they think of Churchill Downs and some of the bigger horse farms around Lexington and Louisville. It's just a beautiful state, but I don't think it gets the recognition that it kind of should.
I want to hear from Wendy. What do you think about Kentucky? You came from Taiwan, moved to Kentucky as a college student, and this is one of your first times experiencing Kentucky. What are your thoughts after 2 days?
I feel like I have the same thoughts as them, because usually we don't appreciate things around us. I have friends from New York came down and visit me in Kentucky, and then they were like, oh my god, Kentucky is so pretty. And after I've been here for like a year, I sort of like get bored with the views and all that. I'm like, well, I stop and I think about it. I'm like, yeah, Kentucky is really pretty, especially when people don't see it that often in the bigger city where I come from. So today I feel like it's all about appreciate the things that's around you right now instead of thinking about somewhere else. So like right now is the best time you can have.
So is anyone else starting to look at the state of Kentucky in a different way?
Yeah, I mean, like Wendy said, like I'll have friends come up and visit and they'll be like, wow, like Kentucky's beautiful. And I guess I like kind of sit back and think like, it really is, like I take this state for granted. Like I've been here for 3 years now and I really haven't explored anywhere. So I feel like I've kind of been like wasting my time because I haven't fully appreciated what is like at the palm of my hand. Like the views that I've seen like in the past 2 days are like unlike anything I've seen really in the past few years. Like I've never seen a cow up close. That was amazing. They're adorable. Like they surpassed any expectation I had. And I don't know, just Kentucky's just like a mixture of everything. You get the city, you get the country, and everything in between. And it's just so nice to see that there are so many opportunities for both like me and everyone around me to appreciate it all.
You said that traveling with the group, so this group specifically, has helped you to appreciate college more. Can you talk about that?
I feel like traveling like allows you to let your hair down, and like in a classroom setting you're not really like, I know when I'm in a classroom I'm miserable because I'm just like sitting there like, okay.
I've had you in class before.
The clock needs to just hurry up. But when we're traveling, like we want to take in every moment and we want to like savor every moment, and we're spending it all together. We will always share a special bond because essentially it's our trip and our memories.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about kind of something similar about, because we were like, we're gonna have like a viewing party together. And we were saying like, and like, even though like this is like us in the moment right now, we can't get that back. We'll have these like tapes for forever.
Yeah.
But we were saying like, we can't watch it with other people because like, they still won't get the same experience. They won't know exactly what we were feeling. Like we can try to explain it as much as we can, but it's like, if they want to feel that feeling, they're gonna have to go out and do it themselves. They're gonna have to go to these small towns and they're gonna have to experience this, because just watching this isn't even going to convey half the emotion that we feel right now.
But maybe we can encourage folks to do their own traveling. So they see what the fun that y'all have had and say, oh, I want to do that too. I want to go to those places, and I want to maybe find traveling companions that could complement me like what I see.
Next time, the travelers discover greenways, a historic rail park, and an escape game to remember. And the view is always better on the back of a horse. Join the adventure on the next Transformative Travels, Exploring Kentucky. Funding for this program brought to you in part by
University of Kentucky's Department of Retailing and Tourism Management, which offers undergraduate and graduate degrees, both face-to-face and online options, in the fields of hospitality, management and tourism, and merchandising, apparel, and textiles. At the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, we promote Kentucky farm products throughout Kentucky, across the country, and around the world. We're Kentucky proud. Extension helps in promoting healthy home and lifestyle, building communities, assessing nutritious food options, and empowering local leaders. The University of Kentucky College of Agriculture, Food and Environment. It starts with us.